All right, so share this with your friends. Top Floor Women, Strive HR, Everyday Leaders is my personal company. So you can find all about what we're doing and just continue to grow. Today, we're so excited. Elena Rodriguez came all the way from Fort Wayne. She is a woman on the move. I met her several months ago, and we have a special Everyday Leaders Showcase interview that's releasing. And she's just amazing, and she made me cry, and she tugged at my heart, and I just knew that we needed to have her a part of this community as well. So I'm going to read really quickly if you read the Eventbrite post, but this is really important because this is who Elena is. Mm-hmm. Leadership expert, business coach, multi-award winning speaker, best-selling author, serial entrepreneur. She's dedicated to helping women transform into the best versions of themselves possible, personally and professionally. Founder of Premier Platform and Besitos. Yes, Besitos Beauty. I won't say that right. Elena has a strong history of turning pain into power through the art of forgiveness, resilience, and tapping into her divine inner strength. She's built a strong reputation for proving that anyone can achieve their dreams with the right guidance, tools, and splashes of heartfelt motivation. Prior to her current standing, she owned a fitness studio for 14 years and later converted her energy into business coaching and training, driven by seeing others step into their divine calling, living a life of fulfillment and joy. Please help me welcome Elena Rodriguez.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you. All right, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me. Yes, I drove here this morning, and so I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I've been up for hours. Okay, let's get right to it, okay? It's so great to get to know you guys, and I can't wait to get to know you better when we wrap up here. But I first want to ask for your permission to be open to whatever diamonds drop in your lap, okay? We hear with our ears, but we listen with our emotions. So whatever each of you are carrying, I'm going to say a round of words, but you are all going to hear something different, okay? So I ask for your permission to just allow, I call it my GOD, my grand overall designer, so whoever that is for you, I don't talk religion, but I do talk source, love, master of the universe, energy, vibe, like whatever you want to go about it, be open to just receiving whatever you're supposed to today. Is that cool? Can we all agree to that? Okay. I want to take no more than 30 seconds, and at the top of this paper, you see today's to-dos. I want you simply to write down everything that pops into your mind that you have to do, and I'm talking everything. Send the email, make the phone call, take the dogs for a walk, grocery shop, paint the bedroom, clean your closet, like whatever is on your mind. We've got about 10 more seconds. Just scribble it out. I don't even care if you can read your handwriting by the end. All right, pens down. Okay, so we dumped that out. Now just flip your paper over and leave it there. We'll come back to that, okay? So take care of your minute. Your single minute. Take care of your minute in this very moment, and you will realize that your hour, your day, your week, your month, even your years will begin to take care of themselves. But we forget that. Take care of the minute. So I'm going to ask you, when was the last time, and what is it really going to take for you to step in front of that mirror and look at that beautiful face and say, no matter what, I got your back. Look at that mirror, no matter what, I got your back. And then what's it going to take, you guys, to pour that second, that third, maybe even that fourth glass of wine down the drain and release, I forgive you? What's it going to take for you to tuck your kids in at night, kiss them on the forehead, and just whisper, please forgive me. What's it going to take? Now, I don't know your answer, but I'll tell you mine. And it took death. It took death. Now, we are all struggling with something, all of us. No one is exempt. Struggling to worry, am I pretty enough? Am I smart enough? Am I popular enough? Am I skinny enough? Am I tall enough? Right? And we know the answer. We've heard it a million times. Yes, you are enough. But what happens when you just don't believe it? Right? Are there times that it's okay not to believe it? So we're going to get real personal here. Like the time that I discovered my husband's 5-year affair after he died, okay? And I was left to wonder, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? Was it my fault? Why wasn't I enough? But I couldn't ask him. He was dead, okay? So then I wondered, why, God? Why show this to me now, 9 months after burying him? Why? Was losing him on Christmas Eve not enough? And God answered me, and he said, Elena, stop wasting your precious time asking questions you will never receive answers to. And that changed my life. And that brings me here today. So my first question is, what are you wasting precious time on, asking the questions that you know you will never receive answers to? And you know the questions I'm talking about. They're all in your head right now. You know what they are. So again, with that permission, in this very moment, the opportunity that you have to press reset is tremendous. It's tremendous. And although it took death for me to truly start living, that it took betrayal for me to actually see my beauty, and that it took excruciating pain in becoming a widow to truly grasp that I am not alone, then I truly believe God does not make mistakes. So I have to share that with you to express, how did we get here? How do you achieve more by doing less? Because Christmas Eve 2018 was the day I turned the machines off to let my husband rest in peace. 2019 was the year I wrote my first book. 2019 was the year I launched my global coaching business. 2020 was the year I launched my lipstick line. 2021 was the year I opened my nonprofit, The Christmas Widow. So you can do more by doing less, and I'm here to talk about that and help you. Are you ready? Okay? All right. So number one, the questions that you feel you're searching for answers. We're talking two beasts, two demons here, okay? The ones that are tugging at your confidence, the ones that are tugging at your self-esteem, the ones that you keep asking, hoping for an answer, knowing you're never going to get one. Where could that time and energy be going? Where could it be going? Because you're not going to get those answers. God says sometimes there are questions that they're just left to be. That's a discipline. That's a hard thing to get through. But in those moments, I can only share this, and I had to learn this the hard way. I told myself I forgave my husband. But where I failed was I didn't cover him in love. I was still angry. And the moment God said, cover him in love no matter what, We're all humans. We all make mistakes. Let him rest in peace. I could release that. So I share things that I feel are flowing. I don't know who needed to hear that because I was not going to say that today. So I want to remind you the goals and the dreams and the desires and the vision and the hopes and all of that is possible. It is possible. But we need to understand, where are those thoughts coming from and what do they mean? So on your paper, I'm going to jump all around this paper, okay? I work in a program that takes you through many, many steps. I just threw nuggets on here that I knew I wanted to touch, and I'm just going to jump around the paper. So towards the bottom, when you see feelings, thoughts, experiences, and words, this is how God speaks to you. This is how God speaks to you. And a lot of times we fail to hear his message because we are programmed to think it needs to come a certain way or it needs to be filtered through this other route. And no, he speaks to you. He's speaking to you now. The easiest and the fastest way that he can reach you, and this is how you're able to achieve more by doing less, because you get clear on your purpose. The only way you're going to achieve anything is if you're clear on where you're going. That's it. You never get on a road trip and just go. You don't call up the airline and say, just book me a ticket. Yeah, take me anywhere. You know where you're going. You're packed, and you've got your arrangements from the airport. You've got your hotel booked. You know exactly when you're getting. You know exactly where you're leaving. Sometimes you have a whole itinerary planned out for what you're doing, but yet when it comes to our dreams, we're just going to roll with it. We'll see where it takes us. And that doesn't work so well, okay? It doesn't mean you're not going to run into detours, and it doesn't even mean that you're going to start on this path and think, I don't want to go this way anymore. Change your mind. It's cool. It's your mind. Do it. So God will speak to you. That initial feeling, and I'm not talking like, oh, this is painful and this hurts and I'm sad. I'm not talking emotion feeling. I'm talking that feeling in your gut, that vibe that you feel. Some of you either liked me or you didn't like me the moment that you saw me. I can't change that. That's something that you're feeling, right? You'll feel that when you walk into a room, bad energy. Like, God will speak to you immediately, and that is the quickest and the fastest way for him to reach. So when you're thinking of that idea, or you're scared to launch, or the dream seems so big, how do you feel about it? Does it really still excite you? Because if it does, then do it. Right? If it does, then do it. That's the first way he's going to reach you, because it's the fastest. It's the quickest feeling. So anytime that idea comes into your mind, how do you feel about it? The second one is your thoughts. Thoughts come in images and pictures. We think in pictures. So if you're struggling in a relationship, paint the picture of how you feel. Words mean nothing. Words are misunderstood and misinterpreted all the time. That's why texting sucks, okay? It really does. Why? Again, we hear with our ears, but we listen with our emotions. So whatever emotional state you're in when you read that text, that's how you're going to take it. It has nothing to do with how it was delivered, okay? So when you're thinking of these goals and these dreams and the to-do list and all this stuff, all of these factor in, because it's that compass that's going to guide you onto really what's priority and what's next. Okay? Experiences, guys. This is the big one. Your repeated experiences. God will keep putting it in your path until you get it. So when you say, why do I keep ending up with all these jerks that I'm dating? Well, that was me, right? Why did I get cheated on, and then cheated on again, and then cheated on again? It took a moment for me to look in the mirror. What am I doing? What are my repeated experiences? It took repeated experiences of me to make money and lose money, make money, lose money, make money, lose money. But I always wondered what was wrong with the money. Repeated experience, there was something I needed to learn. Okay? So when you're thinking of these dreams, or you're thinking of these patterns, or you have repeated stress, or at the end of the day, you're never getting anything done, what's the repeated experiences that are happening? That's what we have to look at. And this is how God talks to us, okay? So by taking care of the minute, taking care of this very moment, everything else does begin to take care of itself. So one of the first things that I do morning, afternoon, and evening, I don't have to do it that often anymore. When I first started doing it, I had to do it that often. And when I start working with people, I have them do it that often. That's your brain dump. That's what you guys did on your page for 30 seconds. When you're looking at that list, what could you mark as urgent? Meaning, if it does not get done today, something bad is going to happen. Like they're going to take your kids away, they're going to take your house away, they're going to take your car away. Like, what is urgent? Put a check mark by the things that are absolutely urgent. They must be done today or something bad will happen. The other things, as long as they're done within the next couple days. Is that email so tragic that you're going to lose everything if it doesn't get sent today? All right? Is, making that phone call or not cleaning out that closet? Like, we do this to ourselves. We put so much on ourselves that has to be done, like right now. Unless there's absolutely not. A clean pair of underwear for your kids to wear, does laundry, have to be done today, right? So these are just things I want you to get your mind around. And then there are some things that are going to be on that list all the time. Like all the time. And the more that you do this, you're going to realize that in a day's time, there is very, very few times you have more than 3 things that are urgent. And so often, get those 3 done. Now you got time to tackle the things that you had planned for sometime this week. And before you know it, you're actually getting more done. But the key is, where are you going with it all? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to achieve? So I start this every single day. And I've gotten to a point myself where I actually brain dump the night before so that I can rest. And when I wake up, I already know what my day looks like. And there are no surprises. Like, there's no surprises. You're able to get more done ahead of time, so you're able to breathe and you have more time for the things that matter most. Now, speaking of the things that matter most, there's non-negotiable time blocks on here. Now, I just put some things in there that are pretty common. Only you can determine what is non-negotiable in your life. So for me, faith. My time with my GOD, that is number 1. I do not do anything without communicating with my GOD like 24/7 throughout my day. He is with me like every moment. So that to me is priority. I read my book in the morning, whether I'm waking up at 4 a.m., 4:30, 5:15, it doesn't matter. I'm reading my book in the morning, and I'm reading at night before I go to bed, making my notes. Like, those are non-negotiables in my life. So only you can determine what is non-negotiables. Family, I have 2 sons, 17 and 21, and they are more like toddlers today than, and I'm being serious. When trauma hit, when my husband died, trauma hit them too. My oldest son actually asked my husband, it was a second marriage, so it wasn't their father that passed away, but my oldest son actually asked him, "Are you cheating on my mom?" He could pick up on it. I couldn't. And he was told no, he was lied to, and he has struggled. So I feel like as a 21-year-old young man, I have a toddler that is like battling depression and identity crisis and anxiety, and that's a whole nother thing, okay? So family for me is priority. They get my time. Finances. My finances were a hot mess. I lost everything after my husband died. Like, I'm not even lying. Like, my home was the last thing I lost. I was woken up at 2 a.m. in the morning on St. Patrick's Day 2019 for them to repo his truck. Like, I lost everything. I sold my wedding ring, $7,000 diamond, for $500 to keep my electricity on. Because why? It held no value to me. when I knew the marriage really didn't mean anything, what mattered to me was keeping my electricity on so that I could be on a Zoom podcast promoting my book. Who would have thought best-selling author in 3 categories, looking like she's living high on life, had to just go sell her ring at a pawn shop for $500? You do what you got to do. You do what you got to do, okay? So finances, now the work that I do with women is I have my line that I do business coaching, launching, spirituality. I pull that together. But I also brought an expert that does finances. She's amazing because it's a hot mess. You know, if we don't know how to handle that stuff, it's very intimidating to ask questions. So that's a primary part, and then emotional well-being and all of that. So to me, finances is huge. I didn't know what questions to ask because I didn't even know where anything was. Like, it was horrible. Fitness, whether that's physical, mental, any kind of fitness, if you are looking to exercise or put your well-being, that has to be a non-negotiable time block. That can't be something that gets put on the side when you find the time. Because time's not hiding from you. It's not hiding from you, right? How are some people able to become like billionaires and some are still homeless on the street? We all got the same amount of time, 24/7. So it's how you're using the time. What does that vision look like? How crystal clear are you when it comes to knowing what you want? So that's what fun. You got to schedule fun in. This is fun to me. When I work and talk about the heavy stuff, that's fun to me. That fills my spirit. That's what I'm here to do. But fun, plan that in. If it's a non-negotiable. And then I put fooling around just to kind of keep with the F theme. If you're married, make time for sex, women. Like, you know, it's not about not feeling pretty or not feeling sexy or not feeling skinny enough. He doesn't care, right? Just like make this important. It's a big part of it. It's a big part of it. So, you know, when we call that family time, schedule in those date nights, you know, and they don't have to be something extravagant, but I even schedule my date nights with my GOD. Like, to me, you know, I make it important to sit with my God, where we tend to put that on when, you know, the back burner. But we'll get dolled up to go out with the girls, or we'll get dolled up to go do these things. But when it comes to your source, we just kind of wait or let it fit in there where it fits. So these are things to get clear on when it comes to building your goals, because when you get clear on these things, you're able to identify what really needs done and what doesn't. And the majority of us are spending time on the things that really don't matter. They really don't in the big scheme of things. So, when you're thinking of building business and achieving more, doing less, how many of you wish you had a team, or you had somebody you could delegate to, or you had that virtual assistant, that sort of thing? My first question that I always ask is, are you able to do your process from start to finish manually yourself? Because until then, you really don't know who you need. You don't know what's working in your own system, or you don't know what's broken in your own system. And that will help with money also, because many times we think that we have to buy that program, or we have to get that tech thing, or we have to, you know, get all these things to make it easier. But if you don't know how to do it manually, then you're spending time learning the system that's stressing you out that you might not even need, okay? So that's the wrap up in that little piece. The last thing I'm going to cover before I open it up, because if we have time, I want to do a little bit of question and like dig into things. But when you're on your path to what it is that you're trying to achieve and what it is that you're trying to accomplish, people continue to be in go mode. And I was one. You know, I'm in go mode. Like, I'm just going, doing. And I was proud of that. It's how I accomplished building 3 businesses, writing books, doing all of these things in a matter of a couple years after my husband died. I was proud of that. But a lot of times when you stay busy, it's because you're avoiding something. Okay? The moment you get still and you get quiet, there's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide. And so when you are clear on what it is that you want, and when you're determined to make it happen, it's important to recognize what can be removed. So often we add. We think we need to do this. When I started, I felt like, oh my gosh, I have to have my YouTube channel, and now I should probably do a podcast, and I need to do this, and let me write some blogs too. And it was like, why? Everything sucks when nothing is fed into. Whatever you feed will flourish, and whatever you neglect will die. And the one thing that I hold true is I don't believe in balance. People are striving for balance, and they're failing because you're not going to find it. When you think of balance, if one thing has your focus, another does not. There is no way you can focus on multiple things equally at the same time. And I think that that's where we're beating ourselves up, and we're almost making ourselves feel like failures because we haven't figured out this magic secret of how do I balance like all of these things. You can't. And the moment we say, girl, you can't. You can't. And that's not, saying like it in a negative way. It's how about we stop the multitask and we get really good at what we're paying attention to this minute. Take care of the minute. That's all you have. That's all you have. And my blessing, as painful as it was when my husband came home a day early from a hunting trip. He came home. He wasn't even supposed to be home. And he came home, and I was decorating for the holidays. He had texted me and said, what do you want for lunch? Do you want a breakfast sandwich? I'm going to come home for lunch. And he came home, said, I'm going to go take a nap. I finished hanging up something holiday I was decorating. I went back within a minute, just to kiss him on the cheek, and he was already face down. I literally caught his first gasp, and I thought he was messing with me because I'm like, you can't even be asleep yet. You just walked back here. And I found him that quickly. That was not by accident. I look at all the blessings that God laid down. As tragic as it ended, there were so many blessings that God laid down. And sometimes we fail to see those because things don't go our way, right? But it's that reminder to me that we literally have right now. You might not know what's happening by lunchtime. And I'm reminded of that every day. And fortunately, I'm reminded of that every single day, but it's a blessing because it's allowed me to help many people by having to put my own pieces back together, okay? So as you're doing this, when you're working on your work, whether the work be in your relationship, whether the work be in your home, or whether the work be in your business, or whether the work be loving yourself again, what is expected? Do you know? Do you know what result you're searching for? Do you know where you're going? When you plug your coordinates in, when I came here this morning, I plugged my coordinates in. I knew exactly the location. I had a map. I had a time frame. I knew where I was going. And when it comes to building our dream, we don't know. So what is expected? Where do you want to go? Because only then can you determine what should be celebrated. We need to celebrate ourselves. We need to give ourselves those little gold stars for good attendance. Show up for yourself every day. And I'll tell you, there's different things that are measured different ways. I like to say success likes to be measured. It likes to be seen, okay? It likes to show off. So celebrate it. For me, in my 3 businesses, success is gauged differently. So success is going to vary for you based on what your goals are. In my lipstick business, success isn't how many tubes of lipstick can I sell. Success to me is how many repeat buyers do I have. That's how I gauge it. How many people come back? That's success to me. Not how many do I sell. It's easy to sell lipstick. Anybody want a lipstick? I can sell you one today. I don't gauge my success in my lipstick that way. It's how many come back. That makes me happy. In my nonprofit, it's not how much money am I raising. It's how many widowed families can we help this year? How many kids that don't have a parent this Christmas are going to be able to be gifted and blessed because we come together and do something? That's my gauge for success. And then in my coaching business, it's not how many clients do I have, it's how many of my clients are actually building their dream. Can I get them there? Because they have to do the work, but can I help them get there? That's success to me. The lady mentioned this, I forget, Pat mentioned this necklace. This client of mine, it's a lock arms pendant. It looks like a cross, but she designed it for like Jesus locking arms with you, because I always say lock arms all the time. But she came to me with a notebook, like a notebooks. She's like, can we meet at Starbucks? I didn't know who she was. I'm like, sure. She comes in, she's like bawling. She's got like all these notebooks. She didn't know whether she wanted to bake cupcakes or start a property management company. And she just knew there's more to me. And she had all these notebooks. And I thought, we're going to need more coffee because I don't know what's happening here. And through time, she actually sketched this on note paper. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do with it? Like what, and I'm always the one that's like, go for it. Let's do it and see what happens. It's exciting. And here we are. It's patented. And now she sells these, and a portion goes to NAMI for suicide and mental health awareness. So you never know what dreams and possibilities you have within you, but you're never going to dig them out or let them surface if you don't simply begin with something in your mind. Okay? So celebrate the attempts, celebrate the tries. They're all wins. But then what needs corrected? What needs corrected? And so many times, if women are focused on losing weight, they want to blame that they ran out of time, or they want to blame that they didn't have enough time to walk, or, that knee was hurting me today, and so I didn't exercise. And it's like, but what needs corrected? Because something in there is not jiving, right? So we gotta put ourselves in check. But when you combine all of these pieces, you're going to realize that a lot of your time and your energy and even your money is being spent on the wrong things. But you're never going to be able to determine what those are unless you get really clear on what you want and where you're going, okay? Because if I were coming here today and somebody wanted me to detour and go here and go here and go here, I'm able to say, no, that's not on my path. That's not where I'm going today. But yet when we are being pulled and asked to go here, to do this, we claim it's because everybody needs something from us. But it's because we really don't know where we're going that day. Because you could say, that's not on my path. Sorry, maybe tomorrow I can schedule that in. But many times, especially when we work for ourselves, it's almost like we have this sign on our face that says, door open, I got nothing else to do today, so come and take my time, right? But if you were checking into work, if you were clocking in somewhere, people wouldn't have access to you. They wouldn't until you got done. But we refuse to set those boundaries for ourselves. Why? Because we're not clear on what we want to get done that day or what the end result should be. All right? So I don't know how much time we have left. How much? 20. Okay, great. So achieving more, doing less. That's my whole nutshell. And I didn't want to just spend time just speaking and talking at you. I definitely want to open it up for some conversation. If anything, a diamond dropped down, and I use diamond. Diamond's my symbol for my Phenomenal Woman program because I love diamonds. We're all diamonds in the rough. With proper pressure, refinement, all of it, that's when our brilliance comes out, okay? So does anyone have questions, comments, thoughts, something? Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Well, what did you think today, ladies? This was wonderful, wonderful. All right, so if you remember, this is the first Wednesday of every month. consistently. We're going to make sure that we can either stay here or we're going to let you know where we're going to be. So go to the Top Floor Women Eventbrite. Angie's the one that posts all of this for Eventbrite for us. So bring your friends. Let us know what you'd like to hear about. We would like to have a little vendor fair here for December. So for everybody to share their businesses. So look for the information because we're going to start reserving tables for people that would like to share information about their businesses. And we're going to make it more of an experience for you. So for the December meeting, just get ready for that. And we will be pushing that information out here soon. Thank you for your time this morning. First Wednesday of every month, whatever that day is. And thank you very much for all the newbies that came, and please come back and bring more friends. We want to get this to get the message out for everybody because it is about community. It's about the one thing that you learn in the morning, and all of you wanted to learn something. Did you do that yet? Did you do that yet? Deb, you've got to meet everybody before they leave. I would like to take a group picture just so that we can capture that. And thank you again, Elena, for joining us this morning. This was awesome. This was awesome. All right. And thank you, Joe Egg Studios, for capturing this. Thank you very much.